I'd like to welcome you all to this brief ceremony, which would be a birth, a rebirth, and an adoption all at the same time. At this time, I invite His Excellency, Honorable Augustus Jasbert, to come to the podium and deliver brief remarks.
Firstly, good morning and welcome everybody here. Welcome to all of the honourable guests here. We have the Minister for Transportation, Works and Utilities, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, and also the Honourable Minister for Education. And most importantly, to all of the people who have made this happen. This for me is a really important moment because we all remember back in 2017 when we were faced with some of our biggest challenges ever in terms of dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma. And one of the most pressing challenges was actually about how do we ensure that we are connecting as a government, connecting as a EOC, the National Emergency Operations Centre, which we had established in Roadtown, connecting out to the different communities. And one of the things I got to know and stayed with me very much was the strength of each community, and particularly in this area, where the community pulled together, the community helped each other out, and the community did what they needed to do to get back up on their feet. But one of the things that hindered us as a government was our inability to always connect and communicate effectively across the territory. And that was one of the big lessons learned from the aftermath of Irma. So I'm delighted that when we have a lessons learned, when we face a challenge, we don't just get over it, we learn from it, and we improve. And we build the strength of the communities in partnership together. And here at the fire station to have a satellite EOC set up. So we have here the ability now to, with the communications systems in place, with the supplies and the contingency stocks here to be utilised by the community, should, and we pray we don't face any other disasters, but should we face those disasters, we have a local base, for want of better words, in the community that can straight away start being a hub of support for the community, link with the national effort, but also ensure that we've got, if the worst happens, we've got the supplies, we've got communications, we've got the networks here to move forward. This is also a good time to be remembering the season that we are in, and it's also a good time to be remembering to be ready for any and all hazards. For those of you who had a lion on Sunday morning, you probably didn't have too much of a lion because the bed was shaking. I should say it in a different way. The bed was shaking through earthquake, which we saw, which woke us up early on Sunday morning. That is part of continuing seismic activity in our region and something that the Department for Disaster Management team are closely monitoring and linking up with our colleagues in Puerto Rico as well. But we also see out at the moment a system that we are monitoring very closely, which may track towards the BVI, and we'll be providing updates later today and ongoing on the week as we monitor that. The important message though for all of us, every single member of the community, every single family, every single business, every single person across the public service or anywhere in the territory, is to make sure that we are ready at any time for anything that hits us, particularly during these COVID-19 times when it's even more important that we are ready and we are prepared. So making sure everybody listening this morning, this is a good moment. It's also a moment to think, look at what government's doing to get more prepared. What am I doing myself to get more prepared? What am I doing as a business or as a community to get more prepared as well? Now, whenever there's something good, it doesn't happen by itself. It happens through a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication behind the scenes. And I'd particularly like to thank the district representative. Actually, this covers 2 areas for the district representatives for their hard work to make this come together. For the Minister of Transportation, Works and Utilities and the work of the Fire Service for hosting this facility here. For the DDM team for bringing it all together. But then also to our backers who have helped do this. This is a project under the Smart Communities, which has had support from the Caribbean Development Bank, the CDARF, the Community Disaster Risk Reduction Fund, but it's also a close collaboration with local partners as well. The excellent Rotary family that we have in the British Virgin Islands, thank you to the Rotary for all that you do. The BVI Red Cross, the Lions Club of Tortola, and the Jost van Dyke Preservation Society. So as ever, what we have is an enhanced facility, but it is there because of those strengths of partnerships, the strength of commitment and dedication that we have across so many fantastic organisations in the territory. So this morning I am delighted to open this Satellite Emergency Operations Centre. I don't say this in the wrong way, but I hope we don't have cause to use it. I hope it is one of those things that the high point is today when we open it, rather than the high point it is being used. But with all of these measures, our mantra always is to be prepared, to be ready, to have everything in place should anything happen. And I'm delighted this is another strength in our ability to deal with that in this wonderful community here. So I wish the Satellite EOC well, and many congratulations, and thank you to everybody who has brought this together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I too would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Rotary family and for all that they've done to help us to get to this point, to once again recommissioning the Eastern Lamuk Fire Station. We will now have remarks from the Minister for Transportation, Works and Utilities, the Honorable Kai Reimer.
It gives me great pleasure to be here this morning for the recommissioning of this fire station. I want to recognize the protocol that we have already said. We have the governor, we have the representative for the 7th district, the leader of the opposition, the representative for the 8th, the Rotary family, media, and I can't forget my fire officers, my chief fire officer as well, for being here today. It gives me great pleasure to be here this morning, that we can finally open this fire station. And like the governor mentioned, this was done by collaborative efforts, and I want us all to give a round of applause to the Rotary family for their being here and the work that they have put in today. Thank you. Since the hurricanes, this station has been down, but earlier this year we were able to open it, but today we are here now giving it a big hoopla that it actually needs. So, it's a pleasure to be here. The Rotary Club, they did a lot of the remedial work, the painting and so forth. But the ministry also contributed. As you can see now, we have a brand new fire truck outside, and this will be stationed here at the fire station. And like the governor said, we hope that we don't actually have to use it, but it will be a monument here within the community. And we know we have the 7th and the 8th, they are married together, so we have both representatives. But I think we're actually in the 7th district. He's on the other side, but he plays a major role in this community. So we welcome him to this community. Also, I want to recognize the DDM for the state-of-the-art, the communication devices that they have installed. And we are getting ready and we're prepared for the hurricane season, that we're hoping most of the storms will just go by us, but we will be prepared. And again, I want to recognize the DDM for the state-of-the-art equipment that they have installed here. So let's give them a round of applause as well. And with my brief comments, I want to recognize the fire officers. Because they play a pivotal role in keeping us safe, and we can see their commitment. They endured the environment that wasn't actually fit, and we are happy for their service, and we encourage them to continue to keep us safe within this community. So again, with those few words, I just want to say thank you. Thanks to everyone that has made this successful, and we look forward to having a safe hurricane season and a safe year ahead. I say thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Reimer. I just thought I would do a quick bit of orientation for the visitors we have here to the Eastern Language area. If you're walking on that side of the road, you are effectively in the 7th district. But if you're walking on this side of the road, you are in the 8th district. So the Eastern Language Fire Station is, oh no, that's fine, Minister. It's actually located in the 8th district. But because we all work together, representatives and people, and we're all one, obviously, Dr. the Honorable Wheatley had a vested interest in the operations of the fire station as well. And I now take this time to invite Dr. Natalia Wheatley to the lectern to give brief remarks as well.
Good morning, everyone. I acknowledge the protocol which has been established, but certainly allow me to acknowledge Your Excellency the Governor, my cabinet colleague, Minister of Transportation, Honorable Kai Raima, Leader of the Opposition, and my District 78 colleague, Honorable Marlon Penn. And even though the protocol has already been established, I really want to shout out everybody who's here supporting this effort. We have certainly the Chief Fire Officer, we have the PS in the Deputy Governor's Office, Mrs. Charlene Dabrio-Letsam, and a former director of DDM. We have the deputy directors of DDM here. And we also have the Rotary family, the immediate past district governor, my auntie, as I said, a beautiful Delma Madura. And we have the current assistant district governor, Mr. Ryan Gellock. And we also have the current president of the Rotary Club of Tortola, and the past president. So Rotary has come out, certainly, and along with other members of Rotary, have come out in full force because they've contributed so much to this effort. I'm told about $70,000 from the Rotary Club went into this facility. Just the roof alone, I'm told, costs about $25,000, and of course, Rotary has donors and who help to raise money, and they themselves put a significant amount of money into the effort. We also have, of course, a new fire truck. We're grateful for that. And this is the first, I'm told, satellite EOC in the Virgin Islands. You could give that a round of applause. And I know my District 78 colleague would agree that a big community as ours here in the 7th and the 8th districts deserves to have these type of services. It's a large community, and we have to be able to respond quickly in the event of a storm. You know what happened in 2017, and this commissioning of this satellite EOC, and, you know, of course, advertising the fact that the fire station is reopened, I think is timely, given the fact that we have a disturbance coming. I have to tell you, I have many persons in my 7th district response team who are eager to be trained to be able to manage this satellite EOC, and I know that we have all the equipment necessary here. We have the weather system and the antennas and the satellite phones and everything that we would require in the event of a storm. Yes, we pray that nothing happens, but we must be prepared, and I believe that we are a bit more prepared than we were in 2017, even though there's a lot more to be done, and we know that it's been forecasted to be an active season. So we're not as ready as we need to be, but every single day we're getting closer to where we need to be to make sure we're ready to respond in the event of a disaster. So again, I thank everyone concerned, Ministry of Transportation, the DDM, Rotary Club, the districts. We thank everybody concerned for the role they've played in making this a reality, and we look forward to further steps to ensure our security in the event of a disaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. the Honorable Wheatley. Whenever I would encounter the Honorable Representative for the 8th District, he always had the same question for me. When is the Eastern Lano Fire Station going to reopen? And this wasn't from a standpoint where his constituents used to be putting pressure on him. It was actually something that he was personally interested in because he knew the risk we have in the area, and he knew what the station and the equipment and the men represented. So I'm very pleased today that I'm able to have him here at the official reopening to try to put his mind a little more at ease, and as well as the rest of us. I now invite the Honorable Marlon Penn, representative for the 8th District, to deliver brief remarks as well.
I just want to say I'm really excited for the official opening of this fire station and the emergency equipment, because personally I have a vested interest in this, because I was one of the persons in '95, I believe it was, when we started the Disaster Auxiliary Corps. That was a part of DAC. We're under the leadership of Charlene W. Letsom, who is now the PS responsible for that area. Myself, my brother Jason, I think you were once fire chief, a part of that organization, many others, where we came together as volunteers to be able to contribute to our communities to ensure that in the case of disasters, there are persons who are trained and able to deliver and to come as a notice call to help persons within the communities. Since I've switched roles, I've been advocating for many years to ensure that this facility was up and running in a standard that's befitting to the community it sits in. We know, through the kind donations and assistance by my Rotary brothers and sisters, I say my Rotary brothers and sisters, I hope you haven't kicked me out as yet. As you see, the memo for the 5th and the 7th has kept me very busy. So, and I got the invoice, Dion, President Dion, and I will pay my bill. So, so I hope that we are still Rotary family together. It shows that Rotary continues to give service above self and continues to contribute to worthy causes within our territory and our community. That's why I joined. Those are the ideals why I joined Rotary, and those are the ideals that are still true to Rotary and the Rotary family. I want us to give Rotary a commendable hand. As my colleague for the 7th District said, this is a very important step, because a district as large and as dense as our district, we need to have quick response in the case of disasters, not just for hurricanes, but any such disaster within our community. Honorable Ryan, I must say to you, I see several times I've seen appliances come to this community and then they disappear. I'm holding you to it that one stays in this community, continues to serve this community and the people of this community, because I have a member in cabinet. I hope you're going to fight for our community. Okay. So I want to make sure, I want to commend the fire officers who have been diligent, the frontline staff who continues to work hard and tireless hours to ensure that we all are safe during disasters. We know what happened during Hurricanes Irma, Maria. This community was sort of cut off. We were one of the hardest hit communities, and we lacked the response equipment. And that's where Charlene at the time reached out to me and said we need to find a way to make Eastern Lanark in particular a satellite office. And I see her diligence has paid off. We now have the equipment, the expertise I know is in the community. We've always been a community that volunteers and give back of our time to ensure that we have the skill sets necessary. I myself was a shelter manager, and I served in shelters in several storms. So I know that the community has that skill set. People are eager to continue to contribute, and I hope that I'm sending out a plea, I know this is going live, right, to persons within our community to continue to volunteer, continue to give back to your communities to ensure that we have the cadre of expertise necessary in the cases of disasters. And that's a little clarion call I'm putting out to members of the community. So again, I thank the Rotary family, I thank the fire officers, all the persons participated, I thank the government for their efforts to ensure that this facility is back up and running. I know the people of our community is happy that we now have a functioning fire station. We're happy now that we have a satellite EOC, the first in the territory, and ensuring that when and if, God forbid, that development that is scheduled to come our way comes, we are prepared, we are ready. I have one concerned Minister for Transportation. There's a huge gut behind of us, and I don't think we've gotten that gut cleaned. So I know this week we're going to be working feverishly to get the guts in the Eastern Isle community cleaned well, in the entire territory, I have to speak for the entire territory, to ensure that we all are safe in case we just get rain, we don't have any flooding or any flooding issues. So again, I thank everyone. I thank those who participated. And on behalf of myself and the people of the Eastern Isle community, we thank you for your generosity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Penn. I now invite representatives from the Rotary family to come to the lectern and deliver their brief remarks.
This all started for the Rotary Club of Tortola with one phone call from Charlene Debriel Letsam. She called me one day and she said, President Lynette, I have a great project for you. I said, okay. She said, Eastern Fire Station. I said, fine, tell us about it. She said, she set up a meeting. We had the meeting. Fireman Zebulon was there. We then decided this is a great project. As I hung up the phone from her, I called President Dion, who then was my community service director. I could hear the excitement in his voice. Then I realized, well, we would need some funds. So I called A.G. Ryan to talk about a grant and us helping put that grant together, writing it up, sending it to the district. All that was done. We submitted it. And there was some money that Rotary had from donors, especially with disasters, that was at that time geared towards Irma. Most of it had already been used up by other countries. Then Powerhouse, A.G. Delma stepped in, and she found some money. And then we decided, okay, we're going to be off and running with this project. We then presented it to the board and to our club, and everyone got really, really excited. And I'm happy today to see it has been completed. I want to personally, you'll hear from a community director, now President Dion, he'll tell you all about the projects. But I do want to say a big thank you to Charlene. You actually that day you said to me, Lynette, if anybody can do it, you can. And I know there's no way I would let you down and the Rotary Club of Tortola. We have done so much work together even before Armor, the community service projects and everything. So here we are today. But I also want to say there's more persons, even Rotarians and company, that joined with us to help us make this project a reality. I want to thank, of course, then when I spoke with Mr. Zebulon, he said we need a filing cabinet. BDO stepped up and produced a filing cabinet. Then he said we needed a desk. President Kelvin stepped up and said we have desks. So I said, okay, well, they would need some chairs as well. President Kelvin said, sure, we can do some chairs. So this is all what it's all about. Community service projects, and that's what Rotary is about as well. We love doing it. We love getting our hands dirty. And as President Dion would tell you, it's not a contractor's job. It's Rotarian at work. Mr. Zebulon? I just want to say thank you as well. It was so easy working with you. When I called you, wherever you are, you answer your phone. It was always that cheerful voice. And I said it's a great, great pleasure being a part of this fire station in Easton. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today. Like PP, or past President Lynette said, this project started a few years ago with a lot of effort from a number of persons. The minister spoke about this roof. When we came up here, we looked at the roof. It was in such disrepair that we enabled the help of one of our colleagues from Aruba, Professional Roofing, and he donated over $25,000 worth of materials and labor in order to stabilize the roof where some of this most valuable equipment now sits. So we want to give Professional Roofing out of Aruba a great round of applause for that. A number of local contractors, we brought a plumber up here who works for ADC Construction, and he said, since this is a community project, he's going to donate the toilets. We changed the toilets, all the shower facilities for the firemen, so they could be in a very modern facility. We changed the air condition. All the louvers were mostly damaged from Irma. And don't talk about the painting. Rotarians stepped up and we painted and we painted and we painted. And the crown jewel is this floor. And I'm just so happy to see the fire engine red matches the fire engine. And just like you, Honorable Marlon Penn, I'm hoping to see this engine stationed here right in front of this fire station red. So we thank you again for allowing Rotary Club of Tortola to be a part of this project. And Ms. Dabrio Letsam, whenever you call, we're going to be there. Thank you again.
Good morning, everyone. It has all been said by our past president, Lynette, and our current president, Dion, who was in charge of this project. I just want to say that this is what we do as Rotarians. We are people of action. We assess needs in our communities. Sometimes needs are brought to us and we have to assess them a little bit further. And we somehow find the means to get things done. And we have 6 causes that we work at in Rotary. And this one would fit into community development. Because without this, our communities would be, it could be a hazardous situation for us here in this community. I'm also particularly pleased to see that it has happened because Audley and I, my PAG Audley, we recently moved back. I am an East Ender, most of you may know. I'm from the 8th District. We're neighbors. Lived in Borgers Bay for some 46 years. And just over a year ago, we moved up to Hodges Creek. So I am in the Eastern Longlook community. I am pleased to see that this has actually happened and that Rotary has played a very important part of it. A few years ago, just to give some additional background, a few years ago we signed an MOU with the Department of Disaster Management in their initiative to develop smart communities, and we made a commitment then that we would work very closely with the East End Longlook community. And so it was a given that when the call came that we would try to assist. And even if it was anywhere else in the community, once the need existed, we would try to assist. And to just give you a bit of background on Rotary, we are 1.2 million Rotarians. We work together. We have an extremely good structure in place to facilitate the clubs within our district, and we get support from our district, as in this case, as in many other cases. One of the things that has not been mentioned is that post-Hurricane Irma, this is one of the projects, and we also did the Queen Elizabeth II Park, restoring. We're in the final stages, right, of restoring that, and that has come through donations from our district as well. And in the past, we've had a lot of other things like dialysis machines, and I know that we are going to see an increase in grant application to do even greater work here in the British Virgin Islands. So with that, I say congratulations to the Eastern Fire Department. As has been said by previous speakers, I hope we don't have to get into action, but in the event that you do, you're prepared. Congratulations and all the best. Thank you.
To sum it all up, I want to, of course, thank all the Rotarians and community service people that came out to make this happen. We just couldn't do it by ourselves. Rotarians got up at 6:30 many Saturday mornings, give up their Saturdays to be here. So we want to say again a hearty thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotarians. And again, we cannot understate the job that you have done, and we are extremely appreciative of all your efforts. I now welcome the project manager for the CDB Smart Communities Project, Ms. Shania Armstrong, to deliver remarks.
The Department of Disaster Management, in collaboration with the Caribbean Development Bank, developed and funded the Establishing Flood Resilient Smart Communities through NGO Partnerships Project. It is quite a mouthful, so we have rebranded it the Smart Communities Project. The Smart Communities Project, in short, did just that. It sought to equip select communities, including the East End Longlook community, with structural and unstructural elements to make it a smart community. What is a smart community, you may ask? A smart community is one that uses sustained mitigation, adaptation, and resilient techniques to absorb, resist, accommodate, and recover from the effects of a hazard in a timely and efficient manner, ultimately enhancing the community's resiliency and reducing its vulnerability. The Smart Communities concept is based on the tenets of the Pan American Health Organization's Smart Healthcare Facilities in the Caribbean Initiative, where safe met green met healthy, and those components collide in a sustainable manner to bring about change at the community level. Remember, safe, healthy, and green equals smart. The BVI evolved the SMART concept for our communities. This project enhanced the Smart Communities concept, further seeking to achieve a safer, healthier, greener environment that allowed our community residents and other users to live and function in a way that enhances their quality of life. After the Virgin Islands was impacted by the unprecedented trio in 2017, which included major flooding and two, not one, but two major Category 5 hurricanes, we recognize that access to information and relief supplies for residents outside of the capital city of Roetown could be vastly improved by establishing additional emergency communication centers and warehouses in key areas around the territory. And that's where P.S. Dabrio Letsum stepped in. The DDM and the Caribbean Development Bank Smart Communities Project organized to establish a satellite EOC, or Emergency Communication Center, in select community structures such as this one. Thanks to the support of the CDB, and the people of the East End Longlook community will now benefit from the territory's first satellite emergency communication center, housed right here at this local fire station. The DDM and the Caribbean Development Bank funded the purchase of emergency equipment that you will see here today in the communications room. These include VHF radios, satellite phones, antennas, and the like. The project also further installed an additional emergency siren unit in the communities. On behalf of the Department of Disaster Management and the Caribbean Development Bank Smart Communities Project, our NGO partners, the Lions Club, Just Van Dyke Preservation Society, BVI Red Cross, the Adventist Disaster Relief Agency, and of course, the Rotary family, we extend our appreciation to the Ministry of Transportation Works and Utilities and the Virgin Islands Fire and Rescue Service for collaborating with us and further enabling these communities to connect through emergency communications in times of crisis. I want to also extend a very big thank you to the DDM team that's here today. Our Emergency Communications Manager, Mr. Jason Penn, who had quite a lot to do with the purchasing and installing of our emergency equipment. So if you can please give Mr. Penn a hand. Our Emergency Information Officer, Ms. Crystal Kanyuk-Abel. So thank you, Crystal. Our very busy community relations officer, Mr. Alex Jeffrey, who's out and about right around the property. And from the DDM perspective, we remind you to continue to be safe and be watchful. There is a system in the Atlantic that we continue to monitor, so please be mindful of that. I echo the sentiments of His Excellency the Governor and all of the representatives here as we continue to be watchful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Armstrong. Now, as much as I know all of you would like to spend another hour here in East End, I'm afraid we're going to be winding down, and we proceed with the vote of thanks by Sub-Officer Elroy Chalwell.
I want to give great thanks to His Excellency the Governor, to all the ministers, the minister of the 8th and 7th District, Honorable Penn and Honorable Dr. Whitley, and to the Minister, Honorable Kai Reimer for the Ministry of Transportation, and to my Chief Fire Officer, Deputy and Station Officers, and Fire Officers. I must say special thanks to you all. But I will go further and say special thanks to the Rotary Club for job well done. Well done. I remember Saturday morning I came, and when that group came 6 o'clock and was ready to work, and with a joy on their face, I feel excellent, I feel good. I said, wow. I was at awe, like, they actually take over everything. They say we come here to do a job, and the job will be done until we finish. They do the roof, they do the floor, and I asked, I wonder if I could get a gate though. Whatever you want done, say now. And they went ahead and painted the gates, which I feel real pleased. I feel pleased to have DDM a part of us also. They did a great job with coming. Jason Penn of DDM came with his crew and set up a communication system which will be really effective for the upcoming season. We are in the hurricane season right now, and I must applaud him for having done that. I feel real pleased about it all. So I want to say special thank you to Atlan. I talked to Dean Crab of Atlan. He get one of his guys to come over with a machine, level the dirt, and he used one of his truck to bring a load of dirt for us. So we kind of fix up the backyard. I remember pulling the weeds, myself and Banver pulling the weeds up from the backyard, so that could take place. And we decided, in order to keep the animal out, we need to establish some gates. So we went ahead and built some gates. So special thanks to everyone who's here today present. I don't want to miss anyone out. So if I miss anyone, I'm sorry. To the media, to everyone, a special thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charlotte. That was very well done. Very well done. We've come to the end of this brief ceremony. I'd like to thank everyone for coming.